There comes a moment in every life when you stand at the edge of your own strength, when your lungs burn, your muscles ache, and your mind begs for mercy. A moment when you hear that quiet, persuasive voice inside whisper, "You've done enough. You can stop now." That moment right there is where most people turn back. It's where comfort wins, where excuses sound reasonable, and where dreams quietly die. But for a few, that moment is something different. It's not the end. It's the beginning. It's the spark that ignites the fire within. The fire that separates those who wish from those who will. You see, anyone can work when it's easy. Anyone can believe when everything is going their way. But greatness doesn't live in comfort. It lives in resistance. It's born in those long nights when doubt tries to break you, in those lonely mornings when the world is still asleep and you're grinding in silence. It's in those invisible battles, the ones no one else sees, that the foundation of strength is built. The fire within you doesn't come from motivation. It comes from purpose. Motivation fades. Purpose doesn't. Purpose is what keeps you moving when there's nothing left in the tank. It's what whispers, "Keep going," when your body says stop. Purpose is what transforms pain into power, obstacles into opportunity, and struggle into story. When you reach that breaking point, when everything inside of you screams to quit, understand this: that moment is not your enemy, it's your invitation. It's life asking, how bad do you really want it? Because only through pressure is strength revealed. Only through struggle is potential discovered. You'll never know how far you can go until you push past the point you thought you couldn't. There's something remarkable that happens when you refuse to quit. The body might tremble, the mind might doubt, but the spirit, it rises. It rises with a defiance that no circumstance can crush. It rises with the kind of power that can't be taught, only earned. And once you feel that rise, once you cross that line, you realize that limits are not real. They're just the lies we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. Think about it. Every person who ever achieved something extraordinary faced that same moment of decision. The moment where they could have stopped. The moment where everything inside said, that's enough. But they didn't. They took one more step. They gave one more ounce of effort. They dug just a little bit deeper. And that single decision to keep going when others quit became the difference between being remembered and being forgotten. It's easy to be average. It's easy to blend in, to settle, to say, I tried. But average has never built empires. It's never written history. It's never changed the world. The world remembers those who chose to defy limits, those who kept pushing when everyone else stopped. The world remembers the ones who found strength in struggle and turned pain into power. Inside each of us is that same fire. It doesn't matter where you started, what you've lost, or how many times you failed. The fire doesn't care about your past. It's waiting for your decision. The moment you decide to stop running from discomfort and start embracing it, that fire roars to life. It's a force that can't be measured, can't be contained. And once unleashed, it changes everything. That's the power of the human spirit. It can be knocked down, broken, doubted, and underestimated. But it cannot be defeated unless you surrender. True defeat isn't when you lose. It's when you stop fighting. And if there's still a heartbeat in your chest, if there's still breath in your lungs, then there's still a fight to be won. The fire within doesn't burn for fame, applause, or recognition. It burns for growth. It burns for the satisfaction of knowing you gave everything you had and held nothing back. It burns for the moments that define you, not when everything goes right, but when everything falls apart and you refuse to foul with it. So when you find yourself standing at that edge again, tired, beaten, unsure, remember this: that feeling is proof you're alive, proof you're growing, proof you're chasing something bigger than yourself. Don't fear it, embrace it. That's not the signal to stop. That's the sign you're getting closer. Push a little harder, hold a little longer, believe a little deeper. Because one day, when you look back, you'll realize the fire within you was never meant to burn you. It was meant to forge you. The greatest battles you will ever fight will not be against other people. They will not be against the world outside you. They will be fought in silence within the walls of your own mind. Because before you can conquer anything, you must first conquer yourself. The mind is the command center of your destiny. Every victory begins there. Every defeat starts there too. Your thoughts shape your reality, and the story you tell yourself determines how far you'll go. when you learn to master your mind. You unlock a force far greater than muscle, talent, or circumstance. The power to direct your life with purpose and clarity. Understand this truth. Your body only does what your mind allows. If your mind says, I can't, then your body will obey. But when your mind declares, I will, when it refuses to bow to fear or fatigue, the body follows. That's where transformation begins. Not in the gym, not in the field, not in the moment of action, but in the quiet decision of belief. The mind is a weapon, and like any weapon, it must be sharpened. You sharpen it with discipline, with repetition, with the daily act of choosing strength over weakness. The mind must be trained to focus when chaos surrounds you, to stay calm when fear whispers, and to believe when doubt screams. That kind of mental control doesn't come easy. It's built through struggle, through failure, through the relentless pursuit of self-mastery. Most people never realize how powerful their mind truly is because they never push it to its edge. They stop when it's uncomfortable. They retreat when it's uncertain. But the mind, like a muscle, grows stronger through resistance. Every time you push through fear, you teach your mind courage. Every time you reject excuses, you train it to see possibilities. Every time you keep going when you want to stop, you expand its capacity for endurance. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. Whatever you feed your mind, you invite into your life. Fill it with excuses and you'll live in limitation. Fill it with vision and you'll move mountains. The most dangerous prison in the world is not made of walls. It's made of beliefs. The moment you decide to change your thinking, the moment you stop saying I can't and start saying I will, you begin to tear down those walls. Discipline is the key that unlocks the full power of your mind, because discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for motivation or the right moment. It acts, it moves, it executes. Discipline is the muscle of the mind that overpowers emotion, distraction, and doubt. When you develop discipline, you no longer rely on fleeting bursts of motivation. You become consistent, focused, unstoppable. There will be days when your mind tries to trick you into comfort. It will say, rest now, you've done enough. It will tempt you with ease. Whisper that no one will notice if you take it slow. But that's the test. That's the moment to prove who's in control, you or your thoughts. The mind that leads must never become the mind that listens to weakness. A strong mind does not avoid pain, it understands it. Pain is information. It tells you where you are, how much you can handle, and how much further you can go. The weak mind sees pain and retreats. The strong mind sees pain and leans in, because a strong mind knows that on the other side of discomfort lies growth, and on the other side of fear lies freedom. And understand this, your mind will always try to return to its comfort zone. 2, the place it feels safe. That's human nature. But growth lives outside that zone. If you want to evolve, you must constantly stretch the limits of what your mind believes is possible. Every time you step beyond the edge of comfort, you expand the boundaries of your potential. The mind is not something you are born with fully formed. It's something you build. Every experience, every decision, every challenge shapes it. The person who learns to control their thoughts can control their destiny. The one who learns to silence doubt can hear the voice of vision. And the one who trains their mind to persist when others quit will always rise to the top. So start seeing your mind not as a cage, but as a key. You decide what it opens. You decide whether it traps you or frees you. You decide whether it limits you or leads you. The world doesn't get to tell you what you can or cannot do. Your mind does. And when you take command of it, when you train it to see no limits, you become unstoppable. The power of the mind is the power to transform everything. It can turn struggle into strength, failure into foundation, and fear into fuel. Once you learn to master it, nothing, no setback, no pain, no circumstance can break you, because you'll know the truth. When your mind is right, your world will follow. Every struggle you face carries a lesson that comfort could never teach. It's easy to love the victories, the applause, the rewards, but the real treasure lies hidden in the moments that test you, break you, and force you to rebuild. Struggle is not the punishment life gives you. It is the preparation life grants you. It is the hand that shapes your strength, the fire that purifies your purpose, and the path that reveals your true character. Pain is the language of growth. It speaks to you in the quiet hours when no one else is watching, reminding you that progress never comes without a price. Every setback, every heartbreak, every disappointment, it all has meaning. The struggle isn't there to stop you. It's there to strengthen you. But most people never stay in the fight long enough to see the gift inside their hardship. They run from pain instead of learning from it. They fear resistance instead of respecting it. If you look closely, you'll see that everything meaningful in life was born out of struggle. Diamonds are made under pressure. Steel is forged in fire. Muscles grow through resistance. So why should your soul be any different? Every time you endure, every time you refuse to break, you are becoming something tougher, sharper, more unshakable than before. The process hurts, but the result is worth it. Struggle is where truth lives. It strips away everything fake, ego, excuses, comfort, pride, and leaves you face to face with who you really are. It doesn't care about your reputation, your background, or your titles. It only asks one question: will you keep going? And your answer, spoken not with words, but with action, determines who you become. Most people want success without the struggle. They want the reward without the work, the strength without the strain, the growth without the grind. But that's not how life works. You cannot harvest what you haven't planted, and you cannot rise if you've never been challenged. The struggle is what gives value to victory. Without resistance, the win means nothing. Without the climb, the peak isn't special. It's the weight you carry that gives you power. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop seeing obstacles as curses and start seeing them as opportunities. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? You realize that the pain you feel today is not there to defeat you. It's there to define you. It's crafting the strength you'll need for the battles that haven't yet come. The struggle teaches patience. It teaches humility. It teaches faith. It teaches you to stand tall even when the ground beneath you shakes. And when you come out on the other side, you don't just survive. You evolve. You think differently. You move differently. You live with a fire that comfort could never ignite. There is beauty in the breaking. Because when something inside you breaks, it creates space for something stronger to be built. The cracks become proof that you endured. The scars become reminders that you heal. The pain becomes the proof that you fought for something that mattered. Struggle doesn't make you weak. It proves that you were strong enough to stay. When you face hardship, don't run from it. Lean into it, learn from it. Let it shape you, because the same pressure that can crush a person can also create greatness. It depends on how you respond. You can let the weight bury you, or you can use it to build you. You can curse the pain, or you can let it carve you into something unbreakable. The choice is yours. The struggle is the only classroom where real strength is taught. It's not in books, not in theories, not in words. It's in experience. You don't truly know who you are until life tests you, until it pushes you so far that you wonder if you can go any further. And in that exact moment, when you find something inside yourself you didn't know existed, that's when you meet your true power. So when life pushes you to your knees, don't see it as defeat. See it as direction. You're being pushed into position. You're being refined. You're being prepared for something greater. The hardest seasons of your life are not your enemies. They're your mentors. They are the sculptors of your strength. Embrace the struggle, because it's the only path to greatness. Let it mold you, stretch you, challenge you. Let it awaken parts of you that you didn't even know were there. One day, when you stand tall and strong, you'll look back and realize the struggle wasn't the obstacle. It was the gift. It was the proof that you were worthy of the life you were building. The standard you set for yourself defines everything about your life. It shapes your habits, your mindset, your outcomes, and ultimately your legacy. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your standards. And those standards are not built in public. They are built in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are setting the standard for who you are and what you will become. It's not the big decisions that define you. It's the small, consistent choices. It's the decision to wake up when you said you would. It's doing the work even when you don't feel like it. It's giving your best when no one will ever see the effort. That's the difference between average and exceptional. The standard you set is your personal contract with excellence. It's a promise you make to yourself that you will not settle for less than your best. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. Because greatness is not a single act. It's a habit. Repeat it over and over again until it becomes part of who you are. When you raise your standard, you raise your life. But when you lower it, even just once, it becomes easier to do it again. And that's how people lose their edge. Not through one catastrophic mistake, but through a slow surrender to mediocrity. Every time you say, it's fine, when it's not. Every time you accept less than what you're capable of. Every time you let your excuses speak louder than your purpose. You weaken the foundation you're standing on. You have to decide what kind of person you are. Are you the kind that does what's convenient or the kind that does what's right? Because convenience never built character. Comfort never created greatness. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary held themselves to a higher standard long before the world ever noticed them. The standard is not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about the expectation you have for yourself when the world gives you every reason to lower it. It's saying, I refuse to be ordinary. It's doing the extra rep, making the extra call, studying one more hour, pushing one more time, not because someone's watching, but because that's who you are. Your standard is your identity. It's the reflection of your discipline, your focus, and your self-respect. You can tell a lot about a person by what they're willing to tolerate. If you tolerate laziness, you'll live in regret. If you tolerate excuses, you'll live in limitation. But if you demand greatness from yourself, if you expect more, give more, and settle for nothing less, you'll live in purpose. Don't wait for anyone to set the bar for you. The world will always try to lower it. People will tell you to slow down, to relax, to be satisfied. But you can't listen to that. You're not here to blend in. You're here to stand out. You're here to set a new standard for what's possible. Hold yourself accountable. Be your own toughest critic and your biggest believer. When something goes wrong, don't point fingers, look inward. Because when you take responsibility for everything, you take control of everything. The moment you stop blaming and start building, your standard rises and so does your life. You have to understand your standard is contagious. The energy you carry, the effort you give, the example you set, it affects everyone around you. When you walk with integrity, others rise. When you work with passion, others push harder. You become a living example of what's possible when someone refuses to lower the bar. The question is not whether you can do great things. The question is whether you're willing to demand greatness from yourself. Even when it's hard, even when no one notices, even when it would be easier to quit. That's the test of character. And here's the truth. The standard you live by in private becomes the reputation you build in public. You cannot fake consistency. You cannot pretend discipline. Eventually, your habits will reveal you. So make sure they reveal someone relentless, someone who refuses to settle, someone who chooses excellence, not once, but every single day. Set the standard so high that average feels uncomfortable. Set it so high that you scare your own excuses away. Set it so high that when people meet you, they feel your commitment before you even speak. Because when you live by a higher standard, you stop chasing success. It starts chasing you. Your standard is your power. Protect, guard it, live by it. Let it remind you who you are when life tries to make you forget. Because in the end, the person who wins isn't the one with the best chance. It's the one with the highest standard. The greatest opponent you will ever face does not stand across from you. It lives within you. It's the quiet voice that whispers, not today. It's the doubt that questions your worth. It's the fear that freezes your steps before you even take them. The real battle has never been against circumstances, competition, or even failure. It has always been within your own mind. Every day you wake up and step into a war between the part of you that wants to grow and the part of you that wants to stay comfortable. One side seeks progress, the other seeks peace. One side craves challenge, the other craves ease. And whichever side you feed the most will always win. The battle within is not loud, it's subtle. It doesn't announce itself with trumpets or alarms. It shows up in the smallest decisions. Whether you hit snooze or rise, whether you complain or commit, whether you give your best or give up. It's the invisible fight that decides your future long before anyone else sees the results. You can conquer the world and still lose if you haven't conquered yourself. Because victory means nothing if you're still at war with your own discipline, your own focus, your own emotions. The strongest person isn't the one who dominates others. It's the one who controls their mind when the storm hits. That's real power. Your mind will always test you. It will offer you 1,000 excuses. endless distractions, countless temptations to quit. It will tell you that you've done enough, that it's okay to rest, that you don't have to go any further. But the moment you listen, you lose ground, because the battle within is not won by feelings, it's won by choice. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, faith over fear, perseverance over doubt, you win. You don't win this war once, you win it daily. You win it every time you refuse to let your emotions control your actions. You win it when you push yourself to move forward despite the weight of exhaustion or uncertainty. You win it when you stay true to your purpose even when no one else believes in it. And yes, it's exhausting, it's draining, because fighting yourself is the hardest battle there is. But the reward, the clarity, the strength, the unshakable confidence that comes from mastering your mind is worth every ounce of effort. When you learn to command your thoughts, nothing external can break you. Understand this, your greatest enemy is not weakness, it's surrender. Everyone feels fear, everyone feels doubt, everyone feels the urge to quit. The difference between the ones who rise and the ones who fall is simple. Some listen to those feelings and others fight through them. Strength doesn't mean you never feel weak. It means you don't let weakness make the decisions. The battle within is fought in silence. No applause, no audience, no recognition. It's you versus you. The old habits, the old fears, the old stories you tell yourself about who you are. The old version of you wants you to stay the same. It wants comfort, familiarity, safety. But the new version of you, the one that hungers for growth, knows that change only comes through conflict. That's why the inner battle matters more than anything else, because you can't lead others if you can't lead yourself. You can't inspire others if you can't discipline yourself. You can't win in the world if you keep losing in your own mind. Self-mastery is the foundation of every victory that follows. When you learn to control your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You stop letting the outside world dictate your inner peace. You become unshakable. The storms still come, but now you stand firm. The pressure still rises, but now you stay calm. Because you've learned that power doesn't come from avoiding the storm. It comes from learning to navigate it. Remember, the battle within never truly ends. It's not a fight you win once and walk away from. It's a fight you commit to for life. But every day you win a little more. Every day you strengthen your discipline. Every day you silence the voice of weakness. You become a little more dangerous to doubt. So when that inner voice tells you you can't, talk back. When fear says stop, step forward. When weakness says rest, dig deeper. Because the victory you're after, the one that changes everything, won't come from beating the world. It will come from beating the part of yourself that keeps holding you back. The greatest battle is not fought with fists or tools or talent. It's fought with focus, faith, and fire. Master that battle, and nothing outside you will ever have the power to defeat you. When everything is stripped away, titles, trophies, recognition, applause, what remains is effort. It is the one thing no one can take from you. Effort is the purest form of truth, the honest reflection of who you are when there's nothing left to prove. You can't fake it, you can't borrow it, you can't inherit it. Effort is earned moment by moment through the choices you make when no one else is watching. Effort is eternal because it tells the real story of your character. Success fades, achievements rust, memories blur, but effort leaves an imprint that time cannot erase. It's written in how hard you tried when no one believed, and how you kept pushing when nothing was certain, and how you gave everything when it would have been easy to give up. Third, ease something sacred of giving your all. It's not about winning. It's about emptying yourself into the task, about leaving nothing undone, unsaid, or untried. Because when you've given everything, regret has no place to live. You can walk away knowing you didn't hold back, that you faced the struggle fully, and that your effort became your evidence. The legacy of effort isn't about being the best, it's about being relentless. It's about showing up day after day with the same fire, the same hunger, the same purpose. It's about understanding that greatness isn't built in a single moment of glory, but in the thousands of quiet moments of consistency. True effort doesn't need an audience, it only needs intention. You see, the world measures success in results, but effort measures success in resolve. Results depend on many things: timing, opportunity, circumstance, but effort depends only on you. You control how much you give, how deeply you commit, and how long you endure. And that's what makes effort so powerful. It belongs entirely to you. Some people will never understand why you keep going when there's no visible reward. They'll ask why you work so hard for something uncertain. But those who live by effort know something others don't, that the process itself is the prize. That every drop of sweat, every late night, every painful repetition is building something far more valuable than recognition. It's building identity. It's building strength. It's building legacy. The legacy of effort is not written in what you get. It's written in what you give. When you pour yourself fully into the pursuit of something meaningful, your life becomes an example, a message to the world that persistence matters, that discipline matters, that effort matters. And even when you're gone, that message remains. People may forget your name, but they will remember how your energy made them feel. They will remember your drive, your standard, your consistency. That is the true inheritance of effort. Every great legacy has one thing in common: someone who refused to quit, someone who gave their full effort even when the outcome was uncertain, someone who understood that every action, no matter how small, matters. Because effort compounds. Every single act of discipline, every single moment of persistence adds up. It builds momentum. It builds mastery. It builds meaning. Effort is what bridges the gap between intention and impact. It's the proof that you meant what you said, that you stood by what you believed, and that you honored your purpose. Talk fades, promises fade, but the mark of effort remains forever. It speaks long after you're gone. When you choose to give everything, you send a message not only to the world, but to yourself. I am capable. I am committed. I am all in. That's how confidence is built. Not from comfort, but from consistent effort that turns doubt into discipline. And the truth is, you will never regret the effort you gave. You will regret the chances you didn't take, the days you coasted, the times you let fear or fatigue steal your potential. But you will never regret giving your best, because even if you fall short, even if the result isn't what you hoped for, your effort becomes part of who you are. It strengthens you for what's next. So give everything, every ounce, every heartbeat, every breath. Don't save anything for later, because later isn't promised. Pour yourself into today with a kind of effort that echoes beyond the moment. Let your work speak louder than your words. Let your consistency tell your story, because at the end of it all, your effort is your legacy. Not what you said you would do, not what you dreamed of doing, but what you actually did. And when you can look back and know that you left it all on the line, you'll understand that effort was never just about winning. It was about becoming. Now is the moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when it's easy, not when it's perfect. Now, this very moment, right here, right now, is the line between who you've been and who you're capable of becoming. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the right time, the right feeling, the right opportunity. But the truth is, there is no right time. There is only now. The future doesn't belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who move. You faced the fire. You've endured the struggle. You built your standard. You fought your inner battle. But none of it means anything if you stop here. Because this isn't the finish line. It's the launch point. Every ounce of strength you built was never meant to make you comfortable. It was meant to prepare you for what comes next. This is your moment to push beyond what you thought was possible. When everything inside you says enough, that's when the real work begins. Because greatness doesn't happen in the first push. It happens in the last one, the one you think you don't have left. It happens when you take that extra step, that one more rep, that one more second of belief. That's where transformation lives. That's where limits break. That's where the next level begins. Don't let fear convince you that you're not ready. No one is ever fully ready. Readiness is not a feeling. It's a decision. You decide to step forward despite the doubt. You decide to move even when the path isn't clear. You decide to give everything, not because you're guaranteed success, but because refusing to try is the only true failure. Push beyond comfort. Comfort is the silent killer of progress. It lulls you into believing you've done enough. It whispers, you deserve to rest. But the truth is, you're not finished. There's more in you, more strength, more heart, more fight. You've only scratched the surface of your potential. The limits you see aren't walls, they're illusions. They only exist until you challenge them. Every person who ever achieved something extraordinary had to push beyond their own breaking point. They weren't superhuman, they were simply unwilling to quit. They pushed past fear, they pushed past pain, they pushed past every voice that told them to stop. And when the world told them it was impossible, they went ahead and did it anyway. That's what separates the exceptional from the ordinary. Persistence. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards performance. It rewards those who act, those who take their pain and turn it into purpose, those who show up with consistency when everyone else fades away. Every time you choose to push beyond, you make a statement to yourself, to the world, to life itself: I'm not done yet. And understand this, pushing beyond is not about perfection. It's about progression. It's about showing up one more time, even when you failed yesterday. It's about refusing to let setbacks define you and using them instead as fuel for the next climb. Every mistake, every loss, every failure carries a lesson. And if you have the courage to keep going, those lessons become your ladder upward. So stop waiting, stop doubting, stop holding back pieces of yourself for some imaginary someday. Someday doesn't exist. All you have is this moment, this chance, this breath. Push now, move now, act now. Because the time you waste hesitating is time you could have spent growing. Push beyond your fear, because fear is just the border of your next victory. Push beyond your fatigue, because exhaustion is the proof you're getting stronger. Push beyond your doubt, because belief isn't something you find, it's something you build every time you refuse to quit. Push beyond your limit, because the limit isn't real. It's a story your mind created to keep you safe. But you weren't built for safety. You were built for strength. You were built to rise, to fight, to overcome. Every struggle has prepared you for this. Every setback has shaped you for this. Every scar has strengthened you for this. Now it's your turn to prove to yourself what's possible. You have one life, one chance to leave your mark. Don't let T slip by in hesitation or fear. Don't spend it wondering what if. Make the choice right now to push, to fight, to rise. Be relentless in your pursuit of purpose. Be fearless in your belief in yourself. Be unbreakable in the face of resistance. Because when you push beyond, you don't just change your life, you inspire others to change theirs. You become living proof of what happens when someone refuses to stop. You become the spark that ignites others to find their own fire. That's the true power of effort, the true meaning of strength, the true legacy of a life well lived. So stand tall, breathe deep, lock in, and go. Push beyond every limit, every fear, every doubt. Because on the other side of that wall lies the life you've been fighting for. And when you get there, you'll realize that it was never about the destination. It was always about becoming the kind of person who never stops pushing.